Labvakar. Paldies visiem, kas atnākuši. Thank you. Thank you everybody who is here. Thank you everybody who is online, because we are streaming this event, we are recording it, so that's multiple audiences we have. Es gribētu pateikt, ka šī izstāde RIXC festivāla tēma šogad ECODATA ir sadarbība ar Šveices projektu ECODATA ekomēdija estētika un no Bāzeles Mākslas akadēmijas un ar Šveices Federācijas zinātnes institūtu WSL. Un šobrīd tādēļ arī es pirmais gribētu dot vārdu Šveices Konfederācijas vēstniecības Latvijā misijas vadītāja vietniekam Aldo de Luka kungam. Because this festival, ECODATA, is a collaboration and also all the thematical framework has been developed in close collaboration with our partners from Switzerland, from the project called ECODATA, Ecomedia, Ecoaesthetics, which is hosted by Basel Arts Academy in Switzerland, and in collaboration is funded by Swiss National Science Foundation, and our partners also include Swiss Research Institute for Landscape and Snow Research. And that's why I would like to give the floor first to Mr. Aldo de Luka, Deputy Head of Mission of Embassy of Switzerland in Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania.
I will hold this mic also for you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for this very nice introduction, and thank you very much also for the possibility to be invited to this important event. It is, I think, important in several respects because I view it as a pioneering form of expression, as really something that encapsulates the spirit of the challenges that this generation already, but also the next generations will be confronted to. It's really nice to have this project that is situated at the intersection of arts and of science that really shows what kind of challenges we will be confronted to in terms of preserving the environment, of creating awareness of the environmental challenges we will be meeting over the next few years and possibly decades, and it will be a massive challenge to face. So I think this is really a very important project, and I'm very proud that my country is backing this project through the involvement of several important institutions and also artistically involved in it. And it's really a great opportunity that we, Latvia and Switzerland, can be cooperating into making this project take shape and raise awareness in such an important manner. So I would like to thank very much the organizers for this opportunity to share a few impressions on the project with you, and wish the organizer full success in their endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I also would like to say big thanks to all supporters of this festival. I also would like to thank Pro Helvetia Foundation, because out of 14 artworks exhibited here were supported, are from Switzerland. Two of the projects, which is one project called of acoustic ecology called Perimeter Fienwald, is by Markus Mieder, our research team artist, and this is exhibited here, right? This will give a tour. And the other artwork, which is by myself and together with Wright, is created. This is immersive installation called Atmospheric Forest, will be open as a part of this exhibition, but in another location. So you are also very kindly invited to come tomorrow at 7 p.m. To RIXC Gallery in Lenču 2. Okay, so now I know we have also a lot of supporters, and here they are. And they are also mentioned. So first of all, this is also a part of the European cooperation project Green Revisited, and it's also supported by State Cultural Capital Foundation, which is supporting our festivals annually already for many years. The same is for City Council. Also big thanks to Andra and Goethe Institute here, because your support is always so important for us, because also an amazing artwork which you saw on augmented reality, already probably you managed to test, is by American-German artist Miko Thiel, with artist P from Germany, created artwork which is also like extending this space and connecting this our virtual space in which we are located these times with the physical space of library. Okay, right.
Nu, es laikam pārcelšu latviešu valodā kaut ko no visu tā. Nē, es domāju, ka tā, tas man citas piezīmes. Bet labvakar, un es vēlreiz priecājos redzēt jūs visus šeit. Laikam drosmīgākie ir atnākuši šodien. Es arī saku labvakar visiem, kas ir internet tiešraidē un seko līdz mūsu festivālam gan šodien, gan rīt un parīt. Kā jau Rasa minēja, mums ir festivāla centrālā tēma ir ECODATA. Un mazliet divos vārdos, no kurienes tas radās, kā tas tā kā izveidojās. Pirms 3 gadiem Rasa sadarbībā ar Ivonu Volkārtu no Šveices sāk strādāt pie viena tāda mākslinieciska izpētes projekta par to, kā mainās klimata pārmaiņu rezultātā, mainās konkrēti meža teritorija Šveicē, Alpos, respektīvi kā sausums ietekmē šo te mežu. Un tajā mežā jau strādā zinātnieki ilgāku laiku, un tā kā mākslinieku tā doma bija, kā varētu sadarbībā ar šiem zinātniekiem vēlreiz izcelt šo tēmu plašākai auditorijai un kā varētu mākslinieciskiem izteiksmes līdzekļiem runāt par šīm te pašām problēmām, ko zinātnieki, teiksim, ļoti specifiskā veidā varbūt atklāja. Nu, un tādā veidā mēs nonācām pie domas par festivāla tēmu un par izstādi. Un izstāde ir 2 daļās veidota. Šeit ir lielākā izstādes daļa Nacionālās bibliotekas galerijā, un otra daļa ir RIXC galerijā, otrpus Daugavai, Leņķu ielā 2, kur mēs rītā atklājām 7 pašu savu instalāciju atmosfēriskais mežs. Kopumā mākslinieki, kas ir atlasīti, jūs redzēsiet, veido ļoti daudzveidīgu kopainu. Un mēs centāmies apskatīt šos te ekoloģiskos aspektus mūsu kā cilvēku vietu uz zemes un dabā no visdažādākajiem skatu punktiem. Ir viena daļa mākslinieku, kas strādā ar zinātnieku iegūtiem datiem par apkārtējo vidi, kas būtībā ir mums kā parastiem cilvēkiem diezgan abstrakti skaitļi vai kaut kādu vienību kopa. Un tad mākslinieki mēģina šos datus vai nu vizuāli vai skaniski padarīt pieejamākus mums plašākai publikai un auditorijai. Tad ir mākslinieki, kas strādā vizionāri ar zinātniekiem, domājot par to, piemēram, kā varētu nākotnē modificēt augus, lai tie būtu izturīgāki pret ļoti radikālām klimata pārmaiņām, vienlaikus izvirzot jautājumu, ētisku jautājumu, vai mums tas būtu jādara, vai nebūtu jādara, vai mēs tā kā varbūt varam iztikt bez tā, vai arī tieši otrādi mēs neiztiksim bez tā, jo algu valsts, kā zināms, ir mūsu eksistences tā kā viens no primārajiem balstiem. Un ir mākslinieki, kas veido dziļi personiskus un poētiskus stāstus, apcerot savu vietu dabā, vidē, šī brīdī, teiksim, mūsu esmē, un veidojot pārsvarā, teiksim, tie ir video vai audio stāsti, kas ir tādi, ilgāk jāpieredz, jāskatās. Un tad ir arī mākslinieki, kas mēģina tiešā veidā kontrolēt dabas izpausmes. Ir ļoti brīnišķīgs darbs, kas strādā kurā ir no sakņu sistēmām, zāles sakņu sistēmām veidotas gandrīz vai tādas kā tekstīlijas. To es tādā īsā tūrē pastāstīšu gan angliski, gan latviski, un tad es varētu latviski vēl pateikt paldies visiem festivāla atbalstītājiem, jau daudzgadīgiem, ikgadējiem festivāla atbalstītājiem, un ties ir Valsts kultūra kapitāla fonds, Eiropas Savienības programma Radošā Eiropa, Rīgas dome, Latvijas Republikas kultūras ministrija, Šveices kultūras fonds Prohelvētija, jo mums šogad ļoti liela sadarbība ar Šveices māksliniekiem, Šveices konfederācijas vēstniecība Latvijā, Mondriāna fonds, kas atbalsta nīderlandiešu māksliniekus, Geitsta institūts, ar ko mums vienmēr jau ir ilgstoša sadarbība. Tāpat arī kompānijas LG Elektronika pārstāvniecība Latvijā, Canon kompānijas pārstāvniecība Latvijā un Riverī Trading grupa pārstāvniecība. Protams, liels paldies Nacionālajai bibliotekai par to, ka viņi mūs atkal uztur savās telpās, un paldies Liepājas Universitātes mākslas pētījumu laboratorijām, visiem mūsu esošajiem un bijušajiem studentiem, kas palīdz mums šo notikumu gan reālā telpā, gan tiešraidē padarīt pieejamu. Tāpat arī paldies visai RIXC komandai, un man ļoti personīgs paldies arī Īrisai un Guntim Celmiem un Mājai Arvenai par palīdzību. Tā kā priecājos vēlreiz, ka esat atnākuši, un es... Jā, Agnesei Barānovai ir noteikti, jā, es jau minēju RIXC komandu, Agnes Barānova ir producējusi abas izstādes, tā kā viņai liels paldies par šo. Jā. I think that's all. It was a bit longer in Latvian, but now I think, I don't know if anybody, if you want to sum up something,
no, it's fine. Let's go. The first tour will be in English now, and then in 30 minutes it will be followed by the tour in Latvian. So follow right is now who is going for the tour in English. Okay.
Kaut kur, jā. Es pielikšu mikrofonu, un tad I will put another mic, and then we can go and see the exhibition. Pauls aizgāja pēc mikrofona, viss kārtībā, viss kārtībā. Nu, spraud, kur vajag, jā.
Blakus piedašu.
Vai es nebakstu.
Šito var
Līdz kabatā vajag, you know.
Nu, tas vats karās,
lai tas vats.
Es smuku, reku šito var iekšu.
Šīnī kabatā es ielikšu tad ar visu vādu.
Tā viņš bija ieslēgts.
Un es aizspraudīšu. Ir? Jā. Es aizspraudīšu, aizpogāšu vienu pogu.
Augšējā, jā, būs super.
Lai nelien ārā. Tālāk.
Okay, ready.
Not yet. Var mani dzirdēt arī, jā? Tu apsties. Nu, es apmēram tādā balsī runāšu, tā kā es tagad.
Jā, vispār perfekta
Jā.
dzirdēs.
Tad... Tas būs... Pēc tam tu gribi montēt viņu, vai ko tu gribi darīt? Mēs jau varam uztaisīt atsevišķu vēl pēc tam, ja vajag kaut kādu voice-over.
Nē, taču vajag jā, protams, bet tas ir cits. Man vienkārši vajag to, ka cilvēki ir. Tāpēc jau nāca atklāšana.
Jā, jā.
Tad tev ir kam stāstīt.
Parunā?
Nu, 1, 2, 3. Ir labi? Var dzirdēt?
Protams, visi var iet iekšā un skatīties.
Okay, yeah, I'll start in English and then...
Nē, bet ejam iekšā, nestādu.
No. Es varbūt te nostāšu. Yeah, as I said, the exhibition is formed as a sort of a network to reveal various problems and aspects of our everyday challenges living in a current environment. So we, as a civilization, we have ended up with different kinds of problems. We, for 200 and more years, using just nature as a resource for our survival without maybe being aware of our place and ourselves as a part of a nature. So we collected, we invited a very diverse group of artists, but what unites them, they all work from one or another aspect with these problems which we are facing when we talk about nature, ecology, actually 3 ecologies, as Kvatari, as Deleuze, not the Deleuze, but as Lyotard is mentioning. So here we have the first work as an entrance. It is kind of ironically critical work on consumer society, and it is done by South African artist Francois Knotze. And these are 6 small video series where it starts, this is one of the first ones, where he actually creates sort of mythical creatures, and each of those creatures has been born out of different waste, different garbage, which is created by our civilization. So this one, for instance, is a paper waste creature, and the name of the work is Cape Mango, and word mango means something which has been thrown out, and after a while it has been taken back into the circulation. So in a kind of symbolic way, these creatures are coming back with the waste which they have gathered around them. They're coming back into our society and bringing that waste back kind of symbolically for us to think about these questions. So yeah, later one can see a little bit more in details because there are 6 films. So we can go around the corner here. And actually, Rasa mentioned briefly, but here is the poster of the artwork, Unexpected Growth, by Tamiko Thiel. And this is artwork which can be experienced inside here, the building, as well as outside of the building. So this is the augmented reality work, which shows us how the building of the National Library is sort of dumped or sort of sinking in between those sort of nature look-like structures. But when we pay attention closer, so then we see that these structures actually are made of our everyday plastic, like tableware or toys or things like that. So if I may find, everybody can scan the QR code, download the application, and look at the artwork in the smartphone. And I have the application uploaded already on my laptop. So it is animation. Also, what is significant, this is just a second version of the work. It's very new work. And it has been commissioned by Whitney Museum in New York. And the first version is there in the Whitney Museum collection. So, and then this here is specially created for this particular geolocation for the National Library of Latvia. I mentioned the futuristic attempts in artistic practices. So this is one of them by Susan Suarez, who is collaborating with biologists. And throughout this collaboration, she is proposing to create different kinds of plants which will be resistant, which are genetically modified and designed by humans, and which will be resistant to very drastic and dramatic climate changes in the future. At the same time, so this is very real research. So the plants are, of course, just computer generated at the moment, but scientists actually doing this very real research and thinking about that. At the same time, she raises up the question, so the ethical question, so where we are allowed or is it ethical, or maybe it's needed, so that we should intervene with the nature and once again try to modify the nature and create it for our own good and also for the good of the planet. So this is the question, and this probably is the direction in which some scientists and some applied sciences maybe will go in the future. So, but I don't know, of course. So on the other side here, it is very personal and very opposite work. And this is by two artists called Manifestations, and artists Leena and Oulu Valkeapää from Finland, from far north of the Finland. Again, so this is a long story in photographs taken in that very remote northern area in Finland where we have just pure nature. So one can sit and contemplate about that environment. The texts and the voice comes from message and email exchange, personal, very personal message and email exchange of those two artists. And it sort of unveils also the mythical nature of the Sami culture. So where they're raising some questions in their conversation, but not necessarily those questions should be answered. So those are more like questions to contemplate on. This is another poetic work by Ursula Beeman, and she's a recognized filmmaker and artist, and she's known as an artist who creates stories, short stories or narratives by means of film or video. This is her newest work called Acoustic Ocean. I will try to speak up because sound also goes up. So the main character of the film is a singer, Sami singer and environmental activist. So she is located in very remote area in north of Norway, in Lofoten Islands, and near the sea. The whole story is about how she tries to communicate and how she tries to explore the life in the ocean, the underwater life, which is for us very difficult because it's not accessible. She's using different technological means like hydrophones or parabolic microphone to record sounds. The soundtrack is very important also to this part, to this work. So to create this sort of very personal narrative about life there and about our place, again, on the planet, also it makes me think of the ocean, of the waters as a primary source of life, so as a first source of life on the planet. So this needs to be watched from the beginning to the end. So here is a small gallery, as you see, with images on the walls. And first of all, I'd like to comment on this one by two artists, by artist duo, Varvara and Mar. And it is called Under the Water. Again, water, but in very different manner. Here we have very beautifully printed, very good quality images, but at the same time, the content is very contradictory. So they raise the question of two large inventions of our civilization. One is the plastic, invention of the plastic, and another is an invention of so-called artificial intelligence or machine learning, as we understand it generally. So they combine these two inventions in their artwork by collecting data from plastic pollution in the oceans and training the algorithm to create the pictures, the futuristic, never seen before pictures of that pollution under the water. So, and this is what the algorithm has come up with, that kind of images. So on the one hand, to me, it seems like very beautiful. On the other hand, when you know the content, actually, it creates sort of uncanny valley feeling also in a way. On the other side, we have work by Diana Scherer, and this is, as you see, very opposite again, and very realistic. This is almost like a handmade, but not really. It is a collaboration between human handmade work and the nature itself. So the real work is over there, as you see, and it is created out of the roots of the plants, particularly different kinds of grass roots. So, and here we have the images from various other works. So she collaborates with the scientists, with the biologists, with the idea to control the environment and the way how the roots would grow of these plants. So usually, like in our everyday life, we pay attention just to the plants which are above the ground. And we usually have no idea what's going underground. So this is the, like, again, not accessible space for us. She turns, in her work, she turns it other way around, and she plays with the root system. Also, it is illustrating one of kind of attempts, which we all know about, is about trying to control and design the nature in a way we want. And here, I think this is very nice and peaceful collaboration between artist and nature itself. So these works are sort of, I think, very good representation of that junction, of that collaboration. So you can go closer. Don't touch, please, but go closer and smell it and experience it, how it actually, the plant system, the root system looks when it's done in this way. So then we can continue around the corner. when we selected this work, actually we didn't know about what's gonna come this year. So we met with this artist in early January this year, and we didn't know that it will turn out in such a situation where we are today. This work actually is from 2015. And as you see, it's very self-explanatory. So we have Petri dishes with the mock-ups of different deadly viruses. And then we have artists' self-portraits with those spots which look like abstract paintings. But actually, those are created, these are created by artists herself, but this is how these habitats or environments of those microorganisms look like. So when they spread. And with this work, we didn't want to kind of talk about current situation. We rather think, we rather agree with the artist's idea that she wants us to think about the beauty and the danger which are building sort of unstable, very uncomfortable dialectics in this work. So we have again feeling of sort of uncanny valley feeling where it is beautiful, but at the same time, so we kind of feel this danger of the microorganisms which are represented here. And at the same time, this is the microorganisms kind of everyday life, and they have like us as environments where they live and spread. So on the other side here is the work by artists duo called Semiconductor. And as you probably noticed, they are working with the scientifically collected data. They're bringing this data to another level, I would say, of the abstraction, and by means of artistic tools, so they gives us the picture of the, in this particular case, of the forest in England. This is, both works are representing the same forest in a period of 1 year time. So here we have just a time lapse with the snapshots taken in the same forest. Here these 4 drawings on a carbon paper, which is created by artists themselves. So we have scratched drawings with the needle, which are showing us the diagrams of forests of data from that forest, which is CO2 emissions, temperature, wind strength, and water vapor. So on they kind of symbolically represent the forest. We can also look at it as imagining the forest where the data comes from, or we can look at them just as an abstract images. Another textile work by Sarah Burger. So the title of the work is Unearth. And here the artist, I think she brings to another level the idea introduced by conceptual artists about dematerialization of the art object. But here it's not a theoretical construct, but it is physical reality. She creates those art objects, which can be seen here in photographs, out of the self-degradable fabric. the fabric which very quickly disappears when it's put in the ground. So she buries those objects in different places, in a different kinds of soil, and then she periodically comes back, excavates them out, documents, photographs, and buries back. So, and she's doing it periodically until the process has finished, so until these objects have disappeared in the earth, in the soil. So, and here we see also the texts. These are like unveiling or these are explaining her actions, and basically you can read and experience what she's doing and how she's thinking about that work. So the texts are part of that whole process. So, and here are two more works. It's a little bit loud, but I'll try to speak up. This again is a short film, as you see, by artist Mike Schurer, and it's called Paper Ocean. And basically it's a dramatic film with many close-ups. But when I look at it, it reminds me, and everybody of us has seen on a television, those very beautiful images of sunlight diving into the ocean, and how the sunlight reveals the beauty of the ocean, how the sunlight reveals the life in the ocean. So here the same, in this film, here the same sunlight tries to break through the very realistic existing synthetic waste, plastic waste in the water. So she basically explores and gives us sort of dystopian, not even dystopian, but current even vision in certain places about current situation with the pollution in water, in oceans. So it's sort of dramatic, in a way beautiful, but also very dramatic and sad film in a way. And wow, this is now we are in Switzerland, and this is called Perimeter of Finnwald. So this is another key work which I mentioned already in the beginning by Markus Mäder, who is another artist taking part in this ECODATA research project. And we are experiencing acoustic environment, acoustic space of particular area in Swiss Alps. So this is the same area where Rasa and Yvonne was doing the research, the artistic research. So Markus, usually we, like behind the wall, we can see how semiconductor uses images from the forest and creating time-lapse video. Here Markus is trying the same technique but with the audio. So these recordings, these field recordings have been made throughout the year 2018 in different places in Swiss Alps, around that Finnwald area. He has recorded short sort of snapshots, audio snapshots, and combined them in immersive 8-channel sound installation. So they're natural sounds from which the aim is to experience the change of the environment throughout the year in the forest. I would say of course, it's quite difficult to experience the change of the environment acoustically for us. So if we see things which are drying out, or things which are plants which are dying because of climate change, it's very obvious to us. But when we are faced with the same experience acoustically, so it's very difficult to tell. However, there is also another layer of the sound installation where he's using environmental data, actually temperature data and the moisture data of the same forest, and he's sonifying those data. And he's letting the sound disappear. Basically, as less humidity is represented in the data, the sound becomes lower until it goes out of our audible frequency. And the same is with the temperature, it just goes much higher out of our audible frequency. So we have also images from that part. But again, I suggest to spend a little bit more time in this space and kind of dive into acoustic space of the acoustic qualities of the Finnwald forest. So this is the last work of this exhibition, and now I'm inviting you either to have a glass of wine or water and experience individually the exhibition.